What's up? What's up? Welcome. All right, here's what I want to share with you. The best piece of advice. So, three of these pieces of advice I got when I was a realtor that were amazing, and three pieces of advice that I wish I would have gotten as a realtor in the beginning. So, obviously, I went on to do some great things. I was a 30 under 30 for Realtor Magazine. I've gone on to coach some of the top agents in the entire country. So, I promise you that these are legit and these work. So, get a pen and paper, write them down. If you want the whole list, send me a direct message. If you want to learn some of the other pieces of advice, right, go to pickwaynesbrain.com. Let's have a conversation and get you on the road to kicking butt and taking names and actually enjoying your life as a realtor. So here's the first ones. So here's the first that I got as a realtor that were huge. So the first one was this. It all works if you work it. And what I mean by that was I had a coach early on to sit down with me and I go, man, what do I got to do? And he goes, you're going to take 10 listings a month. And I was like, that sounds pretty hardcore. I'm not taking any right now. Like, what do I do? And he goes, and I said, I'll do it. I'll commit to taking 10 listings a month, but I got to know what to do. And he said, and I kept asking him, do I do this? Do I do this? Open house, door knock, whatever. Here's the piece of advice. It all works if you work it. And I love that. It all works if you work it. Meaning, do open houses work? Yes. Do pay-per-click ads work? Yes. Do right door knocking? Does door knocking work? Yes. Does networking groups work? Yes. It all works if you work it. What doesn't work is trying to do everything and being nobody to everybody. What works is choosing the 2 or 3 sources of business that you're going to lean into and getting incredible at those 2 or 3. It all works if you work it. Right? Here's the second one. And this one I wish I would have known at the very beginning of my career, but here's the second one. An idea that I can't execute well is a bad idea. I was kind of the mindset that if it was a good idea, I needed to every idea I needed to go implement. And that piece of advice was very freeing for me. A good idea that I can't do well is a bad idea. At least it's a bad idea for me, or it's a bad idea for me right now. There's lots of good ideas. You have to ask yourself though, can I do this well? And if I can't do it well, it's probably a no, or it's a do it later, right? So do the things, say no to the good things you can't do well, so you can say yes to the great things you can do well. If that resonates, give me some love. All right, here's the third one. The third piece of advice that I think everyone should get right day one, and yet so many people don't get this. Brad Allen and I were talking about this the other day. Hank Avink and I were talking about this. I was talking about this with a lot of my right in my brokerage with my agents, right? My brokerage within a brokerage, which if you have questions about, hit me up. But here's the third one. Do the math. If you can't do it, if the math doesn't make sense, don't do it. Right? So many people go, hey, I'm going to try this thing. And I go, okay, what's the return on investment you want to get? And so often I see so many agents, and this might be a little crazy. If you're not an agent, you probably won't understand this. So many agents do things that don't give them a great return, or they do things that get a 1-to-1 return. Stop doing things if the math doesn't add up. Right? Why do people get so much out of coaching with me? Because we help them get wildly profitable and stop losing money all the time. Right? Why do so many people join me in my brokerage at EXP? Because the math makes sense. Because they're getting paid 2 or 3 ways more than they were in the past. Stop doing things just for the sake of doing them. Right? When you sit down with your plan, you got to ask yourself a couple questions. You got to ask yourself, right? If I do this plan, can I execute it well? Can I fit the activities within my schedule? Is it profitable? And if I can't do those things, if I can't get into my schedule, and if it's not profitable, stop doing them, right? So ask yourself, does it do the math, right? Or does the math add up? Okay, here's a couple things I wish I would have gotten early on in my career. 3 pieces of advice I wish I would have had a long time ago. Here's the first one. I wish I would have known how to tell my story better. I wish I would have gone through things like brand script, right? The coaching, the 7-figure sentences that I learned from Jonathan Sprinkles. I wish I would have known how to communicate my story better. Now, when people go, "What do you do?" I'm able to say I'm the guy people call when they realize more hours isn't the answer. I'm the coach that people call when they realize that other people have won a battle that they're currently fighting, and they want to be able to collapse time. They want to get where they're going faster with fewer bruises, right? Right. Our brokerage is the one that agents come to when they realize they need a plan that's proven to help them retire, right? When they realize they need to work with a brokerage who has understood and leaned into right real estate 3.0, because real estate 2.0 doesn't make sense anymore when you have this amazing option. By the way, I'm going to do a call about that on Thursday or Friday. If you want the information, hit me up with that. Right. But I wish I would have known how to clearly tell my story better. Here's the second thing I wish I would have known. I wish I would have asked myself the question, is this a strategy I want to do long term? So there were things in the beginning of my business that brought business in, and yet they weren't things that I wanted to do long term. So I got really good at them, but I didn't want to do them years later when things like my database and everything else were really taking off. So is this strategy something that I want to be doing forever? And then here's the third one. This is the big one. If you're taking notes, write this down. The third one is who, not how. As high achievers, and if this resonates with you, let me know. As high achievers, we're really good at saying, how do I do that? How, right? I want to grow my Instagram account. How do I do it? I want to get good at YouTube. How do I do it? I want to become a coach, right? How do I do it? I want to build passive income. How do I do it? Right? We ask ourselves how a lot, which is, how is a great question. Yet we ask it too often. Sometimes you need to stop and ask yourself, who? Instead of how do I grow my Instagram account, who's done that? Or who could do it for me? Instead of how do I become, how do I, build my templates? How do I build my buyer stations? Whatever it is, right? Instead, ask who's already done this that could do it for me. How do I build this amazing page? Who's already done it? You've got to stop asking how so often, and I would challenge you to begin to ask who more often. Who's already done it? Who could help me collapse time here? Who could give me an hour coaching call, and I could learn, right, the 50 hours, the 100 hours of stuff they had to learn on their own, and they could condense it and give it to me in an hour. Stop asking how all the time, and I would challenge you to start asking who. One of the reasons why people lean in to coaching is because they realize I can help them collapse a massive amount of time. My job is to read the 100 books so I can turn to them and say, here's the one you need, right? My job is to listen to all the podcasts so I can say, here's the two that you need to lean into. My job is to have conversations with hundreds of agents so I can share with them, this works, if this doesn't work, here's why. I'm able to collapse a massive amount of time, right? When you look at that, you realize it's so interesting. Talking about the brokerage thing, right? People go, why didn't you start your own brokerage? And the reason I didn't start my own brokerage because it didn't make sense, right? I did the math. The reason I'm building a brokerage within a brokerage is because somebody else built this incredible ship, and I get to jump on that ship and get all the rewards. I don't have to go build it on my own. I can build an incredible world within that world that gives me the highest return on my time, energy, right, money, etc. And that's what I would challenge you to do. So step back and ask yourself two questions, right? What's up? First off, I'd love to know what's the best piece of advice you've gotten, and maybe what's the worst piece of advice you've gotten. That's always interesting. If you want to go deeper on this, reach out to me. Go to pickwaynesbrain.com, pickwaynesbrain.com, and schedule a time. I'd love to connect with you and figure out what you need to do differently. Usually, like a couple little tweaks can make a huge impact on someone's life. So if you want to sit down and have a conversation about that with me or with one of the coaches, go to pickwaynesbrain.com. Let's talk about it. What I would really challenge you to do is jump on the fuel call. So every week we do a group coaching call. We call it hybrid coaching because we have a group call, then we have some one-on-one coaching. And this week we're going to talk about 10 ways to get your offers accepted and 10 ways to find sellers in this market. Stop trying to do it all alone. What I realized is we can do great. We can do really good and great things on our own. We can do incredible things together. So if you're interested in getting a coach, jumping into my brokerage, or being on the fuel call, send me a message right now, and I'd love to have that conversation. I'd love to give you the link to help you jump in, because I am committed. I've dedicated to my life to helping people have lives they love, where they realize they can have both. They can have an incredible business that brings them, right, an incredible amount of money, and they can have the other stuff. Is it easy? No. Is it a whole lot easier if we figure it out and dial it in together? Heck yes. Is it doable? 1,000%. All right, my friends, lean in, be your own hero. Talk to you soon.